Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. So in today's video, I'm actually going to go through the 2017 Exam 2 Maths Methods Multiple Choice section. And yeah, let's go smash through this paper. Like always, before I start this video, guys, if you guys want private tutoring in specialist methods, physics and chemistry, you can always email me through this email. Going on my course, you'll pretty much get a dedicated Discord server with a lot of students who are still, in that Discord server. You guys, there is, a Q&A section there. There's thousands of exam questions for methods, all those subjects. And yeah, that's that. So let's, smash through this paper. F of x is 5 sine 2x minus 1. The period and the range of this function are respectively what? Okay, so it's a sine function, and we know that the period is 2 pi over, well, here it's 2, so we'll write 2. So the period is pi. So cancel that out and these ones out. And what about the range? Well, there's a quick way to find the range. Well, a range can be found like this. So we can say that the range. So what is the translation? Well, it's -1. So we're going to put -1. And what is the amplitude? It's 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to minus 5. Yep. And we're going to, again, write -1. And we're going to plus 5 now. And that simplifies to -6, 4. So it looks like C is your answer. Question 2. Part of the graph of the cubic polynomial f and the coordinates of its stationary points are shown below. F dash of x is less than 0 for the interval. So f dash of x is the gradient. So we're saying, when is the gradient less than 0 or when's the gradient negative? Well, from here to here, we can see that from here to here, it is positive. Yep. From here to here, it is negative. It goes downwards. And again, here to here, it goes positive. So it is negative from -3 and 5.3. So choose D as your answer. Question 3. A box contains 5 red marbles and 3 yellow marbles. 2 marbles are drawn at random from the box without replacement. The probability that the marbles are of different colors are. So if I draw a tree diagram here and say that there is red marbles and yellow marbles, and red marbles and yellow marbles. Okay, what do we know? We know that the box contains 5 red marbles out of 8. So it'll be 3 on 8 here. Now, because it's without replacement, if we take one, we take it all in the total and we say 2 on 7. So this one will be 3 on 7, and this one over here would be 5 on 7. So we want to find the probability that they are different colors. So we want RY plus the probability that it's YR. So RY is 5 on 8 multiplied by 3 on 7 plus Y, which is 3 on 8, times by 5 on 7. This will equal 15 plus 15 all over 8 on 7, which we can say that's 30 on 8 on 7. That'll be 15. That'll be 4, so it'll be 15, 7, 14, 21, 28. So it'll be 15 over 28. Choose C as your answer. Let f and g be functions such that f of 2 is 5, f of 3 is 4, g2 is that and this, and g of 4 is that. Find the value of g on 3. Okay, so what's first g on 3? We'll know that g on 3 is 2, so we're saying that f on 2 is what? Okay, we know f of 2 is 5, so your overall should be E. Question 5. The 95 confidence interval for the proportion of ferry tickets that are cancelled on the intended departure date is calculated from a large sample size to be this. The sample proportion from which this interval was constructed is what? Now, we all know that the sample proportion is actually equal to the expected value of that sample proportion. So if I was going to draw a nice normal diagram over here, so our normal, our mean value is your P hat. That's our proportion. That's what our sample proportion is. And we know that this confidence interval, if it's over here, and it's 95% confidence, we know that this one over here is right over there, and this one over here is right over here. What do we know? Well, they have to be at equal length. So one way we can actually find that p hat is easily by adding these two, and dividing them by 2 to get p hat. That is what way I would do it. So go on my calculator and let's do this. So what we want to do is add those intervals. So 0.039 plus 0.121, and we divide them by 2. And that gives us 0.08. So choose A as your answer. Part of the graph of the function f is shown below. The same scale has been used in both scales. The corresponding part of the graph, the inverse, is best represented as well. So I'm just going to draw y equals x, and I'm just going to reflect it. So if I was going to reflect this, it will look like something like, I don't know, something like, if I was reflecting, it will look like this. It will also, have something like this, and something like this. If I'm not mistaken, something like that. If I was estimating. Oops, wait. So it will look like, if I was reflecting, it will look like this. And it would look like this. It would look like that if I was reflecting that. Or I can just, to be safe, just create a nice outline of it. Like an outline. I can take that outline and I can just a little bit turn around, really much turn around, and see where it actually is. Yeah, something that looks like this. The one that looks like that is C. Choose C as the answer. Yeah. Normally, just reflect it along this axis. That's what you should do. The equation this has no real roots when. Okay, very nice. So we're just going to use the discriminant over here. So we're saying that p minus 1 x squared plus 4x plus p minus p must equal 0. Now we know that b squared minus 4ac, which is the discriminant, must be less than 0 for having no real roots. So our b squared is just 16 minus 4, p minus 1, c is rather than that, yep, so, and p is p minus 5, and that should be less than 0. So we're saying that 16 minus 4, so it will be p squared minus 5 minus 5p minus p plus 5 must be less than 0. So 16 minus 4, p squared minus 6p plus 5 must be less than 0. So we can say that 16 minus 4p squared plus 6, 12, 18, 24 p minus 20 must be less than 0. And we can say that that will be negative 4p squared plus 24p. 16 minus 20, which is negative 4, must be less than 0. Dividing all sides by negative, so it will be, and by 4, we'll get p squared minus 6p plus 1 must be greater than 0. The thing changes because we divided by negative. So which one that looks like this? Looks B is your answer. Question 8. If y is this, where a is greater than 0, then x is equal to what? So yeah, just let's solve that. So we're saying that y minus 2, if you bring that, a, b minus 4x, log a, y minus 2 equals b minus 4x. We can bring that 4x in front, and we can say that's b minus log a, y minus 2. X is, well, 1 over 4, b minus log a, y minus 2. So, yeah, it looks like a is the best one. Is that right? Yeah, a looks good. Question 9. The average rate of change of the function with the rule this over the interval this, where a is greater than 1, is a. Find the value of a. Very nice and easy. I'll just use my calculator. So if I define the function f of x as x squared, minus 2x, and we know that the rate of change from f of a minus f of 1 is a minus 1 should equal to a, and we can solve this, comma a, and we know a is greater than 1, so a equals 9. Choose A as your answer. Question 10. A transformation with the rule this transforms the graph of this onto the graph of this. Which one is it? Okay, so let's just expand this transformation. So x dash equals 2x, y dash equals 1/3 y. So we're saying that x is x dash on 2, so and y is 3y dash, and if we sub those in, we'll get 3y dash 3 sine 2 x dash on 2 plus pi on 4. So y equals sine x dash plus pi on 2. Is one of the answers like this? No. But you should know, but this is a complementary angle. And we know that y, this rule is a complementary angle. And it's pretty much equal to cos x by complementary angles. If you guys don't remember your complementary angle, you can easily put them in your calculator, for example. Let's write this in our calculator. Sine x plus pi on 2 is equal to cos x. That's a complementary angle, so choose D as your answer. Question 11. The function this has a local maximum at this and a local minimum at x equals 3. The values of a and b are respectively what? I'll just use my calculator for this one. Go and, graph and pretty much draw this. Let's sketch this over here. Plus b times x. Okay, a and b. So let's try the first one. We're saying that a is -2 and b is -3. And we want to have a maximum at -1. So it pretty much looks like, no, it doesn't look like -1. And a minimum at 3, which is no. 3 is over here, nope. So what about 2, 1? So move this to 2 and this at 1. What happens? No, absolutely not. We don't have anything at 3. So what about 3, -9? Okay, we get this. So we do have a, okay, no. We want x equals -1 to have the maximum. Yeah, so this is nope. What about -3 and 9? So put the -3 here and put a -9. Okay, this. Do we have a local maximum at -1? Okay. And a local minimum at x equals 3. 1, 2, 3. So if I go down here, and yeah, we do have. So choose D as your answer. Let's do that. Question 12. The sum of the solutions of this over the interval of this is -pi. The value of D could be what? I'm just going to use my calculator for this. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to solve sine 2x equals, √3 on 2 comma x from -pi less or equal to x less or equal, let's try 0. D is 0 now. And okay, let's add these two together. Either sum, do they equal -pi? No. Let's try now pi on 6 here. We get this, so it's just this plus this now. No, so let's try the next one, which is 3 pi. So 3 pi on 4. Okay, so it's this, but also in plus pi on 3. Okay, so 3 pi on 4 does the work, so C is the answer. Question 13. If h is from -1 to 1, which of the following statement is not true? I'll just do this on the calculator. Just let's define h of x as the function, which is 1, so 1, x minus 1. Oops. Let's try the first statement. So h of x, which one is not true? So times h minus x, is it equal to -h x squared? It's true, so it does equal it. That's not good. What about the next one? So there's a plus now. And here, there's a 2. So 2h x squared. Enter. True also. Let's try the next one. So h of x. So put the minus here, and there's also a 0 here. And there's an x. and there's x coming out. Oops, I'm supposed to put a times over here. Also, that's true. Let's try d, which is h of x, minus h, minus x, 2x times h, x squared. Also, that's true. So the last one should not be true. Let's just double check it. So we're saying that the last one is h of x all squared. Is it equal to hx squared? And here it's false because the statement doesn't make sense. So choose E as your answer. Question 14. The random variable x has the following probability distribution from 0 to 1 on 3, where p is between that. The variance is what? Well, first we need to find the expected value, because we know that the variance of x, for example, is written as the expected value, x squared, minus the overall expected value, all squared. So what we need to find, okay, we need to find the x squared of these. So for example, we need to square all of these variables over here and multiply them and add them to each other. So what's negative 1 squared, which is just p, so we can say p. That just becomes 0, then, oops, 1 minus 3p. So this over here is your ex squared, which is 1 negative 2p. So, and then what about the expected value? So expected value is just, okay, multiply this, so it'll be negative p plus 1 minus 3p, and that will be negative 4p plus 1, and then we square all of that because we want the expected value to be all squared. And so it's just 1 minus 2p minus negative 4p plus 1 all squared. So I'm just going to put this in a calculator and expand it. So expand 1 minus 2p minus negative 4p plus 1 all squared. And we get this. Is there an answer like that? Yes, choose D as your answer. Question 15. A rectangle ABCD has vertices at A, which is here, B is over here, C is there, D is there, and U lies on the graph of this. The maximum area of the rectangle is what? So, okay, let's find the area of the rectangle. So area, in terms of U actually, so in terms of U is what? Well, this over here, this length is U, so we can say that U times this height, which is, V, but it's pretty much f of U, and f is this over function over here. So I'm just going to go on my calculator and say, let's define f of x as the new function. So negative x to the power on 3 plus 8. And what I want is U times f of U, this over here, which is the area, and we want to find the maximum area. So what I'm going to do is go on menu, go on actual calculus maximum of this over here, comma U, given that U must be between, we can see that it's between 0 to 2. Enter, and we get this. And we want to find the maximum area, so we bring this over here, shove it back in this equation, and this is our maximum area, which is just 6, 3 root 2. So choose B as your answer. Perfect. Done. For a random sample of 5 Australians, P is the random variable that represents the proportion who live in the capital city. Given that this is that, find the probability that P hat is greater than 0.6. Okay. So N is equal to 5 because there's 5 Australians. Alright, so what we can do is we can say P hat is equal to X over N. And our N value here is just 5. So, and over here, it's 0.6 is just 6 on 10. So we're saying 6 on 10 times 5 equals x. And that's 2. So it'll be x is equal to 3. So this can be written as probability of x is greater than 3. Because it's binomial, if I'm not mistaken, this has to be x is greater or equal to 4. And we don't know anything, so we know n, but we don't know the probability of success. So we can use this to advantage. So now this is the same as probability of x is equal to 0 is equal to 1 over 243. And probability of x equals 0 is what? It is pretty much 5 choose 0. Probability of success, which is a value p. And q is our unsuccess, which is 5. And that all must equal to 2, 4, 3. Okay. And then q to the power of 5 is just 1 over 2, 4, 3. So let's just solve that. So let's solve q to the power of 5 must equal to 1 over 2, 4, 3, comma q. And we get q is 1 over 3. So we can write q is equal to 1 over 3. But we want p. So we just, the 1 minus 1 over 3, which is just p equals 2 on 3. Now we have our p value, our actual probability of success. Now it's easy. Now to calculate this over here, it's nice and easy. So I'm just going to use now my calculator and go on menu, go on probability distributions and go to binomial CDF. The number of trials is 5. The probability of success is 2 on 3 now. The lower bound is 4 and the upper bound is 5. Okay, and we get the probability, which is 0.4609. So choose C as your answer. Perfect. The graph of a function where f negative x is equal to f of x is shown below. The graph has x-intercepts at a, b, c, and d. The area bounded by the curve and the x-axis over the interval a and d is what? Okay, let's look at the first one. A and d, nope, no way. It's a and b, so it's saying the area a and b. Okay, that's positive, perfect. C, why is it saying c and b? So it's saying, okay, if it said B on C, if it said B to C, negative, no, they've just put a negative in this, and they've also twisted the intervals over here. It's supposed to be a plus. It was supposed to be a plus. What about C? A, B, twice, okay, because these are symmetrical, and B and C, so B to C, but it's negative. You're supposed to put a negative over here. What about D? So D is saying, let's have a look at D. So D is saying A to B twice, okay, perfect. And then B to B plus C, so B to B plus C. Now let's say this is negative 1, and that's 1, and b plus c is just 0, so it'll be over here. So it's saying b to this value over here, which is this, and they've put a minus. Okay, so they've made a product, and they twiced it, so it gives this area. Aha! D looks perfect, but they use symmetry over here. Yeah, that's that. Let's rub that off, and that's good. Next question. Question 18. Let x be a discrete random variable with a binomial distribution n and p. The mean and the standard deviation of this distribution are equal. Given that p must be 0 to 1, the smallest number of trials n such that p is less than or equal to 0.01 is what? Okay, if the mean and the standard deviation are equal, so we know that the np is your expected value, so your mean, and we know that the variance, or your actual standard deviation, is the square root of np 1 minus p. So if they are equal, so we're saying np must equal to square root np 1 minus p, and we want to find n. Let x be discriminant and the mean standard are equal. Yes, and if we square both sides, we get n squared p squared equals np 1 minus p. We can cancel, this is just as np equals np 1 minus p, and we can cancel these two out, so we can just say np is equal to 1 minus np. And if we solve for p plus p equals 1, p n plus 1 equals 1, so p 1 n plus 1. And we know that p is less or equal to 0, so 1 n plus 1 must be less or equal to 0.01. So let's solve that in our calculator. N plus 1 must be less or equal to 0.01, comma n. And we get n, of course, n cannot be less than, negative 1. N must be greater or equal to 99. So the smallest is 99 because it's equal to it. Press D. Question 19. The probability density function f is given by this. Where's, k is between 0 to 2. Find the value of k. Very nice and easy. So, yeah, we can just use this on a calculator. So if you just say, we know that the integral from k to k plus 1 of this function cos x plus 1 must, dx must equal to 1. Yes. Because it's probably, and we want to solve this answer, comma, k, given that k is between 0 to k to 2. Enter that, and we get pi minus 1 over 2. So choose D. Last question, 20. The graph of f is from 0 to pi over 2, f of x cos x, and g of this. The graphs intersect at B. The ratio of the area of the shaded region to the area of the rectangle is what? So shaded region and the triangle. Okay, so let's first calculate this intersection point, because let's calculate the area of that triangle, and we know that this is pi on 2, this over here is pi on 2, the length. So to calculate this, we need to calculate that point of intersection. So we're saying we want to solve where root 3 sine, what am I doing? Root 3 sine x is actually equal to cos x, given that x must be between only from 0 and pi on 2. Oops, I'm supposed to be. And that gives us pi on 6. So this point over here, this over point, if I just take this over here, so this point over here is pi on 6 there, and we can just say, what's that height of it? So if we take one of these equations and we put this inside of it, we get root 3 on 2. So the height over here is root 3 on 2. So we can say the area of the triangle is half. So half times the base and times the height. So this is your height. Your base for this one is pi on 2. And it gives us root 3 pi over 8. So let's write that. So the ratio is root 3 pi on 8. Now let's calculate the ratio of the actual area of that shaded region. So it's the integral from 0 to pi on 6 of the function, this over here, dx, plus pi on 6 to pi on 2 of cos x dx. And it gives us root 3 minus 1. So let's write that. So looks like B is the best answer there. Yeah, B. That's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. I hope you guys, take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.